Last meeting, we didn't have anybody sign.
They did.
But sometimes it looks like it.
Yeah.
There's no sheet with empty. I changed the sign over there, so first it says, yes, please, you if they read it. So,
Motion to complete the letters.
yeah. I think it was just the 7 o'clock.
Conrad. Zach, nephew is right behind him.
Please stand if you can and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Notice of this meeting was given in advance thereof by publishing one time in the Keith County News and posting at the City Administration Building as shown by the certificate of posting notice. Notice of this meeting was simultaneously given to the president and all members of the council. Availability of the agenda was communicated in the advance notice and the notice to the president and council of this meeting. All proceedings hereafter will be taken while this convened meeting is open to the attendance of the public. This meeting is being convened in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the southeast corner of the council chambers. Any person wishing to address the council may do so by standing. Recognized, please go to the podium. Please sign the sign-in sheet located on the podium and state your name and the organization, interest, or person you represent before you begin speaking. Thank you. Roll call.
Dupierre.
Here.
Bachman.
Here.
Kraske.
Here.
Laughlin. Absent. Weddington.
Here.
Make a motion to excuse Councilman Laughlin.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman Weddington to excuse Councilman Laughlin. Council, please vote.
Four yes, one absent.
Motion carried. Right, under our consent agenda, we have the minutes of the regular meeting held April 14th, 2026, and we have claims.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Weddington and a second by Councilman Dupierre to approve the consent agenda. If there is no discussion, could the council please vote?
Four yes, one absent.
Motion carried. We have no public hearings this evening under public forum. We have people service update.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy now, People Service Assistant Regional Manager, for those of you that haven't formally met. You've all gotten reports. Any questions on the report? No?
So are there, I noticed that you guys are doing cross-chain training, so are there, I guess, challenges or opportunities for improvement with the training? Are you guys seeing?
The challenges?
Yeah.
Time constraints usually. They're pretty busy doing locates and work orders and stuff like that, so it's really hard to get people out to the wastewater plant. But we're working them in as we can. Everybody's doing a good job trying to keep up and learn stuff. The only other thing I want to go over is plant kill. So we did take samples from the influent. We found 2 contaminants that are harmful to the sewer plant. So we're moving forward with starting to test some manholes, see if we can isolate the area it's coming from. And that's starting tomorrow. I think we're gonna do 4 tomorrow, and then depending on those, we'll move on and see if we can isolate a small area, so.
Has there been any other influent coming in that you've been able to tell with this contaminant?
The influent that we tested was right at the plant, and that's where we got the hits on 2 contaminants that were,
But is that still coming in?
it's still coming. Yes.
Really?
That was tested last Wednesday, we got the results back. I think it was Tuesday, Thursday. Something like that, and we just reviewed them. And we've got new tests ordered, which are here, that's why we're starting. Manholes tomorrow.
And I'm, well, I mean, it's still killing the bugs.
The amount that's coming in now, it's not completely killing it, it's slowing down. Slowing down the bugs growing back, but we did seed everything. So that has helped. We do have a lot of movement under the microscopes and everything. So we're just gonna move forward and see if we can find out exactly where it's coming from so we can possibly isolate it. So.
What are the 2 chemicals?
I would rather not say it right now, that way we can
Understand.
kind of isolate where it's coming from without any issues. Any other questions on that?
That seems to be our biggest issue right now with water and wastewater, is just finding out where that contamination is coming from and get it stopped.
Yes.
In the long term, probably trying to do some type of education of the public, ensure and understand the impact of
Yeah.
things they're putting in.
So does that get to be an EPA issue at some point in the near future?
It could, we would like to take care of it ourselves before we go that far. If we can isolate a certain place it's coming from, we'll be talking to them first. If we can't resolve it that way, then we do have to go with it.
Jeremy, would you mind giving the council an update on SCADA? The SCADA project?
So SCADA project, we have a startup meeting May 5th via Zoom. With HOA. And then hopefully we get a timeline and everything there.
And then review again the impacts of the new SCADA compared to the old SCADA and just the benefits of that.
Hopefully it doesn't crash. No, the new SCADA, we're gonna have a lot more control with it once we're done.
Riley was explaining to Councilman Dupier what he's looking forward to with the new SCADA, so I'm just gonna.
It'll be the water system and wastewater system will be interlinked. So we can run both systems from either the wastewater plant or the water office. We're gonna implement more alarms into it and basically make it easier to use. We're gonna go through all the screens and everything and make it user friendly for everybody. We'll have easier remote access.
As we are, everything testing, everything okay at the wells, I mean, as we're going into the summer with the drought. Are you seeing any cause for concern over cavitating
Not at this point.
or well
I
recharge?
believe all the wells have been tested this year. Don't quote me on that, but I think they have all been done by right now. I haven't seen the results yet because they haven't sent them to us, but they had no issues when testing.
And for the public's benefit, we will be continuing to be flushing it, so we'll see, when you see water going down the street.
Yeah, I believe we have, 60 hydrants done out of 300 and
67 out of 324.
67 out of 320. So it'll be probably a good another month to flushing.
Okay.
Anything?
Any other questions? Comments from the council?
You know, just appreciate you and your team's effort on trying to understand the problem with them.
We'd like to try to get to the bottom of it as soon as possible, so.
Hunt it down and get it stopped.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Right, YMCA update.
Right.
Conrad and Melissa.
You for having us. This is not my swan song. You'll give me one more time. In July, then about 2 weeks after that. We'll be working remotely. But anyway, thanks for having us. Hopefully you got the reports, had time to look at it. Did a little different in this report. I did a comparison percentage wise with the company as a whole with YMCA in a consolidated form. And also then of course you have the previous year's comparison. So we're pleased with where we're at. March was an interesting month because it was a third payroll and we do cash accounting. And so there's an extra payroll that wasn't reflected in last year's. And for the impact here, that's just right around $13,000. So that's kind of significant. But there's one thing you have to understand as you're looking at that. We've got good real growth, real good growth in dollars, and the growth in dollars and the growth in expenses have just about matched. So I'm okay with that because our big income seasons are yet to come. Also know that the benefit we get on the contract payment from the city of Ogallala is very significant, and it represents in that contributions area of the income statement 64% of the total company. So we value that, and we work hard to earn that, and we work hard to spend it wisely. But it makes it very functional for us. So the other thing that to bear in mind, and I can answer any questions, we're pleased with where we're at. We've invested in 2 more full-time positions that actually started towards the end of last year and then going into this year. And that's an investment for the future. And we're anticipating with the growth in programming, like you could see, our Biddy basketball was really quite successful and brought in some nice dollars. And then we have our after-school program with the city of Ogallala, which revenue-wise is going to bring in around $65,000.
Ogallala schools.
Ogallala schools, yeah. What did I say?
City.
City. Well, I'm just so used to it.
We don't,
I'm working with the city. Yeah,
We
you
don't
don't
do
do
kids.
after-school programs, but who knows? But anyway, so again, very pleased, and I will entertain any questions you have in regard to that.
pool, outdoor pool.
Outdoor pool, we're confident we will have it up. Our goal is still June 1, like it was last year. We worked on it some this week. We kind of had to back off a little bit because of some temperature things. We're confident we can have it functional for this year. Maybe not beautiful, but functional. We're gonna redo some of the work that was done 2 years ago and the pool tub. Some of the
That was last year.
last year,
Yeah.
yeah, actually was it? Yeah. Leading into, okay, that's right. So, but we have to really be thinking towards the future. Can that be a second year with this level of work? Probably, but we need to start planning what we want to do collectively together for future years. And I think, and that's on the agenda of community aquatics. Let's keep that focus. That's what we're doing in Scotts Bluff. We're working with the community. We've been kind of big news. Third time around, let's get it right this time. And I think differences are gonna make the differences in the location and in the funding and the wise actual financial participation to a certain extent are pretty significant. And I think it's gonna pass. I think it'll be a good model for the partnership we could do in Ogallala, whether that's funded through an LB 357 or something of that nature down the road. But even if we have a gap of a year without an outdoor aquatic center, if we know one is coming, I think the community can, I think the community would be appreciative of that. And I'm confident that future-wide leadership, including a person standing next to me, is good for that commitment and would be good to make that work. I think Ogallala needs an outdoor pool. I think we need to work towards a new pool.
Conrad, I suspect the Y has pretty deep bench on engineers and consultants on outdoor pools and how to build them and what's wrong with them. How do we get a detailed report on what's wrong with our pool, what it would cost to get it fixed, and what it's going to cost to build a new pool.
Yeah, I would start initially with Jack Baker, who is really our resource. I know the city of Ogallala has used Jack. His new firm, the firm he joined, has in-house community aquatics and has in-house aquatics planning and construction. Why the USA is our real asset is the otherwise in the state. And he's done the design for McCook. He's done part of the design for North Platte and the community center. And so that's where we would start.
So just broad strokes, what's wrong with the pool now?
So
Little
Yeah,
deeper than
yeah,
that, please.
the natural deterioration of that kind of composite that makes the tub. And the way the piping was designed to the friction makes the pipe leak. We're pretty positive there's a leak in the system outside the tub. The tub
Yeah.
itself is not.
Even though the tub has damage, it's not leaking. Last year we filled it and had it filled for a week before we turned the system on, and I didn't have to add any water until the pool system was on. So I strongly believe there's gotta be a leak somewhere in the system and probably underground, because it's not in the boiler room itself.
That's tearing up the deck.
And we can have Prestige Aquatics come in, who's helped us here before. And do a pressure. And indicate, okay, the leak's gotta be somewhere in this zone, it's gotta be in that area. And that's what I would suggest we do, probably at when we empty. We's a relative term because I'll be
I
somewhere
think
else, but
when we talked to him last year, he wanted it filled to be able
Okay.
to do that, so.
so let's do it before we.
Yeah, well, maybe when he comes to do the sand
Yeah.
filters.
Yeah, so I think that would be a nice suggestion. We should get it, we'll get a cost on it.
You know, we have some
We didn't
major,
budget.
there's some major repairs coming up.
Thank you.
We're redoing the sand filters, which I think was in our budget.
Yeah.
And that's what we anticipate major. I'm very, very pleased with the rec center facility. I'm also pleased the gas bill, did you check that out? Pretty good. Of course, it's a mild winter, but we're way more efficient. Keeps it 84 degrees, Jane, it's perfect. Don't give me that.
Water
I'll-
cold.
I'll turn it down, Jane. I'll turn it down.
They already texted me and asked
No,
if you did do
yeah,
that, and
yeah.
I was like, I don't think he knows how to.
I just wa-
say.
Well, yeah, I kind of do, but I threaten them, I walk up to the thermostat and act like. That's just part of the fun, yeah, but no, Steve, I do think that we can. We'll have a good functional year this year, but we need to do things this year that plans how we.
I agree. I think we need to look at the economics of what it's gonna cost to, fix this to what it should be versus.
You also
Cool.
need to take into consideration the condition the bathhouse is in also, it's
Right.
pretty, it's pretty poor. And it's things that would cost quite a bit to replace, like door frames, bathroom stalls, toilets, plumbing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have
Wow.
communities around us with older pools and not as nice facilities. And people are going there instead of our facility.
Well, that's possible. I think Grants is relatively new, right? Grants is it's
Yeah.
fairly decent. I've never seen it in operation, seen it in dry conditions, but. And I believe Josh worked, Prestige worked on that one. I'll have to find out. But anyway, I think we do have good resources and I think we can leverage those resources. And Trinity has an excellent aquatics background. Doing it for 16 years with the city of Scotts Bluff, so that will also be beneficial. Okay. You're gonna be in great hands. Trust me, and you're in great hands here. We're very pleased with membership numbers. We're up almost 18% in heads. Very pleased with that. We're pleased with our operation overall. I'm pleased in the last few weeks, we've really worked on employee efficiency. And the last pay period, this pay period, Melissa's hours were under budget. And that's the first time that's happened. So I'm pretty pleased, Melissa's team for the whole team, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So what's new and what's old and what are we gonna do again?
So this coming up year, we're gonna do concessions up at the ball field again. I paid $1.
Yep, made around, so.
I think it'll be a pretty successful year, if not better since they're bringing back adult softball, so that'll add in a whole nother night of revenue for us. We'll also have concessions at the pool and, you know, kids swimming, they're always hungry. The outdoor pool will be up and running as usual, and we'll have swimming lessons again this year. We'll continue to do our biddy sports, which is flag football and then basketball. And we are trying out a couple dances. We have a mother-son dance coming up Friday that we're pretty excited to put on. And then there'll be a father-daughter dance in June also. I know that they used to do it as a fundraiser for the football team, and there wasn't any interest from anyone at the school to be able to do it or time, and so we said, why not try it? So we'll see how it goes. As far as new adventures, we have a pretty big one coming up with the after school program. We'll be taking over what is known as Kids Oasis. It'll be the good old YMCA Kids Corner next school year. We will not take over during the summer. It'll stay with the school, and then as soon as school starts, it'll be our program. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it'll be a good way to give back to our community and to improve a good program that's already existing also for kids. We'll start a hiring process here soon for a head coordinator and then people to work as well. We're starting ahead of time because they'll have a lot of training to do just through the state. There's several classes and trainings that they'll need to have before we start that, so.
We have a Zoom meeting conference call with this is a federal program that funds this 21st Century Grant. And we have a meeting with them Zoom next week to find out the particulars of when a YMCA does it on behalf of the school district, which is done in Lincoln at 5 different with 5 different programs. So we know it can be done. And then once we have the particulars ironed out, we're going to run it like it's a state license program, even though it won't be the first year. We're going to run it under the auspices of how we do our state run programs. And then our goal in the next year is to have it fully licensed. The reason we don't need it licensed in the state because we're not charging any. It's federally funded. So once we have a little better grip, we'll just what we have to do different than what we do in gearing, we will proceed ahead. So we're pretty excited about that.
Are you gonna hire more people for this, or do you have the staff?
We'll have to hire more people. There's a certain ratio of kids to adults for different age groups. I don't have them memorized yet, but I think I want to say we're going to include preschool, and so I think you can only have like 4 or 5 kids to every adult. So it really depends on enrollment and what ages we have. So it'll be open from preschool to 5th grade. And we'll actually be doing it at Prairie View come next year. I think the school is moving it there this summer also because the Armory will be the preschool building next year, so.
And again, we're gonna run it like it's a state program, so we're gonna use state ratios. It's a little
Yeah.
higher. It's actually 8-1 for preschool, but that was good. You were scaring me because 4-1 would be pretty cost prohibitive. But anyway, and that varies for the age. But see, that's the way we're gonna run it. And if you want a state subsidy, if you're gonna be DHHS, you have to be licensed, just like we do. So we're excited about it. Ogallala Public Schools has been fantastic to work with. They're excited. Their current coordinator who's running it will not, she's gonna resign after the summer. She's already given her notice. So we'll be able to start fresh. It's also our intent to have Melissa licensed when we do it a year from now. And so she has some education things she's having to do right now. So it'd be nice to her if she goes back to college on Monday. So
As a single parent.
as a single parent. So we'll give her all the support we can at the Y, giving her time to do her schoolwork and prepare. So we're very excited about that. The only other, and we'll talk about whatever you want. We're kind of hogging the meeting, but Kevin Block came just to hear us, so we really want to make sure that it was worth the trip. But we have sat down and looked at a new contract because this will renew at the beginning of the next fiscal year for the city. And I believe we have a good operating structure. It's very similar to what we have now. The only change that the only major significant changes, Kevin, is if it's all right if I allude to
Go
the
ahead.
changes.
The numbers are in the hands of our legal counsel right now,
Yeah.
so.
So the change would be that, we raise what the limits would be on membership fees, so that we don't have to rely as much as time progresses on the city contract payment. And we also increased, however, that payment for the operation of the outdoor pool, just because of the increased costs that we anticipate. Those are the most significant changes, I believe. Kevin.
And dates, those are the
Dates.
only changes.
Yeah, those are the only changes. Very good for us. We're very willing to do it. We spent a lot of time discussing this at the last board meeting, so I kind of wish Chris was here because we discussed quite a bit, looking at Ogallala numbers and what we're doing here. And our board is very pleased. They're pleased with what's happening, and I'm very proud to leave it in the shape that it is and will be. And again, I'll give the mid-year report, the second quarter report. Then I'll be off. We'll race to Sturgis, Kevin.
The South Dakota.
Yeah. So, any questions, anything should be aware of?
No, I've only heard good things, so the city county school board meeting. The partnership that we have with the school board, we're very pleased with as well, so.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Very good, very succinct way of doing business. I really appreciate that. And Gene grew up in Gearing, so he's aware of our program, and that helps a lot. So, all right,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you. That should be home.
All right, moving on, sidewalk repair at 8th and Spruce.
Mr. President, I do not see Mr. Riley in the audience.
Okay.
Very similar to last time.
Does any council member have any desire to put a motion out? Then I would let Mr. Riley know accordingly. Is there anyone else here that would wish to address the council under public forum? If not, we'll move on. Report to city clerk treasurer. You have a report for nothing. Recommendations, departments, boards, committees, administration, resignation of city manager Kevin Wilkins.
Nope.
Mr. President,
Second that motion.
it has been my privilege to be, had the opportunity to serve as city manager of the city of Ogallala. Hitting 65 last year, gonna roll over 66. And wanting to allow time for transition. In order to open the position, you'll need to accept my resignation.
When does your contract expire?
Contract expired last August 1st. It rolls over for another year, so that would be August 1st again.
So, does it have like an auto annual renewal?
It has an auto renewal.
Okay. So if we accept this, do we need to go month to month with you?
Well, you can, I think what you had indicated was the resignation was gonna be effective on a date certain, wasn't it? I thought that's what you had indicated.
It's effective upon a replacement being hired.
I was gonna say, can we approve the resignation but not accept it until replacement is found?
Well, I think the way I would handle it is you would just accept it effective date certain, and then if the city manager has things that come up or things don't meet his schedule, he can just bring them to the attention of the council.
A date certain would be December 31st.
We could do that, and then if we needed to, we could extend it. If you would be willing to agree, so.
But I think a date certain of December 31st, that gives us time to do what we need to do.
And if we found someone sooner, it sounds like you're ready to. I did ask Kevin that he at least get us through the budget. this year, cause I don't wanna throw some new person into that with no history. So.
So we accept the resignation on December 31st, is what we're saying.
Just accept the resignation effective
Yep.
December 31st. Yes.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman. Bachman.
Good.
Okay. There's no further discussion. Kevin, thank you for your service so far.
That was the year 2030.
When the highways finish.
Yes.
Good sneak in there.
4 yes, 1 absent.
Motion carried. All right, street plan specification advertising dates for the 2026 asphalt overlay project.
This presents this simple street project, some of the, you know, the closest examples that we did over here on Third Street. Does a section of street. There's another little piece on 8th from Spruce over to A. Not a huge street project, but important.
It would seem to me that West B Street's probably in worse shape. Is there a reason why we're starting with C? I'm guessing.
There probably is, but I can't answer you.
I'm guessing B needs a whole lot.
And that may be the case that we need, that may be one of those where we need to be looking at what's underneath it.
I think so. Cause B Street is the main drainage for everything from the hill runs down B Street all the way to the highway.
We did repair a big section of B Street, like
Yeah.
that's what's outside the library. B Street is right there on the east side of the library, and that was.
And that wouldn't be an overlay, that would be a,
Yeah,
Full.
yeah, that would be a tear out.
I do think C sees more traffic. But you're right, B is seeing kids go down
B's-
that street in inner tubes.
B's rough. But I would say it's definitely rougher from Highway 30 up to 5th Street.
Yeah. I would agree.
What is this? This is just a.
Just an overlay. Yeah, B Street with that's a tear out and fix lesson. That's a $300,000 project. This is a $300,000 per block. This is $100,000.
You don't need any kind of motion there. This is just a.
no, we need a motion.
You missed, no, you didn't put motion on several of these. We do need.
What happened? Huh.
Make the motion to approve the street plans for the 2026 asphalt overlay project, West 8th Street from West 8th to Spruce, West C Street from West 5th to West 10th Street.
We also need to add the specifications and advertising dates to be approved.
Where are those at?
You just said the plans, that's like one section, so there's plans, specifications, and then the advertising dates.
It's in the description of the agenda item
Yeah,
on the agenda.
I didn't get any vote.
I don't see anything for the advertising dates in here.
Yeah, look at your council memo. The council agenda is different. Or no,
What?
it is in the
That's
agenda.
the
It is in the
agenda.
agenda. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So it says street plans, specifications and advertising dates.
I don't have it.
Okay,
If you
so,
look at item 6B on the memo,
so the plans were in the packet. And then the specifications, which include the advertising dates, was a separate link
Yeah.
on the
They were,
website.
they were
Because it was 100 and some pages
some
long.
pages
I
long.
have that right here too.
And the notice to bidders is right at the beginning of the specifications.
You don't want me to be here, though.
You agree to amend your motion to include,
Yes, I do.
specifications and advertising dates?
Yes.
We have a motion.
Yes, second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman Weddington to approve, that 2026 asphalt overlay project. There's no further discussion. Could council please vote?
Four yes, one absent.
Motion carried. Tree board, we have a quarterly report.
Evening,
Good evening.
Drew Crabb of Ogallala. Appreciate the opportunity to give a little bit of an update if you'll. Excuse me, I've just got some notes here on my phone, so I'm gonna use that. And then happy to answer any questions. First of all, I would express my appreciation of Kevin and your help and support over the years for that committee, and you're a regular attendee at our meetings and you support our projects, and I wish you nothing but the best as you move on eventually to your next adventures. So,
Valhalla.
yeah, there you go. So an update, this is where we're gonna start getting into our busier times of the year. You can imagine that for a tree board, winter is time for us to strategize and submit reports and talk to the Forest Service and Plant Nebraska, which is the new name of the statewide arboretum. But we've been kicking up our activities now. First of all, we did celebrate Arbor Day, and I appreciate Steve being available to read the proclamation for Arbor Day. That was last Friday. We celebrated that by planting 13 trees up at Manor at the Ogallala Community Hospital. That is part of a urban and community forestry grant that we received, which is a 3-year grant that started last September. We planted 10 trees there in late September, early October, I can't remember. 10 trees up there last fall, 13 now. That fulfills that part of the grant. We have multiple other sections of the grant that we have to fulfill, but 23 trees planted up at the hospital. We had tree board members there. We had hospital staff that came out to help plant. We had some high school kids that came and helped us as well. Kate Diaz brought some kids, so it was a fun day. It took us a little less than 2 hours to get everything in the ground, so we're excited about getting that done. Tree removals is also part of this grant. Again, it's about 51,000. It's not exactly the amount, but it's within I think $100 of that. So that process has been moving forward. We created a scoring model. We created applications. We created scoring sheets. And so we went through the publication process. Appreciate the city clerk's office accepting those applications as people provide those. We 30 people did submit applications for help in removing their trees. We had 3 people on the tree board that scored them. So that everything was done. It's all subjective to a degree, but that's a fair system. And found at this point we scored the top 12. We're going to move forward with notifications to the property owners. and get get bids on the removal of those trees, and that's where we're at. We just did receive here this afternoon approval from the Nebraska Forest Service of the 12 priority trees that scored the highest in that model, that they agree those need to be removed, and they've blessed off and allowed that to move forward. So I'll be working with Brandon, Scott, and Kevin on the next steps there.
There was some concern on that, was there not?
There was one tree that the Forest Service wanted to take a look at personally. They did, and then they agreed with the tree board that it was.
There was was there a protected species issue?
No, it was they from the pictures they just couldn't tell if it was in as bad a shape in order to remove, or if it just needed pruning. And when they saw it, they're like, yeah, it's just a really bad tree. So that's where we're at on tree removals. The urban and community forest grant, that was like $10 million that was provided to the state of Nebraska. Not knowing that if we'll ever get an opportunity to get funds again from of this nature and of this amount, we did go ahead and submit a second application. I want to express my appreciation of our Jeff Reese. He put it together. I reviewed it, we submitted it, so we're hoping to have additional dollars. We'll see how that goes. We should know by the end of May if that's been approved as well. So if we would, right now we've received about $76,000 worth of grant funds over the last 3 years. I don't know if any tree board in Western Nebraska has really received that much in funding for the types of projects that we're doing, and it'd be great if we would get another $50,000 to spend over the next couple of years. We did suspend our rebate program this year, or at least this spring. That was where we were paying people up to $150 if they planted a tree and brought in their receipts and filled out an application. Reason we did that is we have project funds set aside, but we have been those have been dwindling down a little bit as we've spent money on our projects. Just thought, let's give that a pause and see how fundraising goes this year. We are going to participate in the Big Give, and I would imagine this fall that if we're supported by the Big Give by the community in that fundraising effort, that we'll probably kick that up. The reason why we're putting it on pause is because it really was getting utilized quite a bit.
That's the thing to note during budget time, council. There will be a budget line item for the tree board that are these funds.
Yeah, project funds to use for those sorts of projects. We've got seven memorial tree plaques to put in place. Those are in my garage. I just have to get the posts cut and get those affixed, and we'll get those all put out there to notate those trees that were donated. Kate Diaz did submit an application, which you guys approved, I believe at the last city council meeting. So we're excited that she's a new board member. We appreciate her volunteerism. The tree board was recognized here recently for receiving the Tree City USA Award and the Growth Award. Kevin took the large Tree City USA flag. I think that's in his possession. Usually that flies down at Humphreys Pond. So we'll get that hung out. Barb Jeffries has placed large stickers that read 42 years on the 2 Tree City signs that are here in town. One's at the bottom of the overpass and one at Williams Park. So it's 42 years of being a Tree City. That's the report that I have. I'm happy to answer any questions that people might have, but I again express my appreciation of the council and the staff. I think we do a lot of good things. We seem to be recognized by the state as a very active tree board.
So on the tree removal program, you guys are gonna notify the 12. Isn't there a cap of
$3,000? Yeah.
What happens to those bids that you have a tree that's really bad, but the bid's over 3,000? What happens?
Unfortunately, their application will get removed from consideration. One thing we may try to consider is talking to, if we happen to get additional funds in another grant, is see if we can utilize some of those funds for these big problem trees that. We want to make sure that the funds get spread out and we can try to help as many people as possible. But we're feeling pretty good that we're tackling a lot of, we've seen quite a few trees come down. And perhaps, we won't feel too bad if we take 25 grand and only remove 4 or 5 trees with it if they're.
Did you do a match?
Unfortunately, that's what we would have loved to do, is say, well, we'll cap it at 3 and the homeowner can come up with the rest, and that's considered a match, and there's no match from us, from the city, from the property owner. No money can be spent in this project other than the grant funds.
That's unfortunate.
This is one of the criteria for the grant.
That's really unfortunate.
It is.
You can have a tree score higher as far as danger.
We're expecting that, honestly, with some of these trees that we feel priorities, they're likely to come in over the 3 grand.
If I were a homeowner, I'd be talking to the contractor about lowering his bid just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we're hoping it doesn't run into that, because the people, the majority of the applications we got, they were very worthy of consideration.
Also, keep in mind, these are nuisance trees that even without the grant, the city could send you a tree removal letter. In most all of these cases. In some of these cases, that we are seeing on this particular round of removals. They are clearly nuisance trees that are a danger.
This is a great program. I mean, I've noticed a lot of bad trees that have come down that we need to keep this up as long as we can. You guys are doing a great job, and we get a lot of bang for the buck on this.
Yeah. It is a lot of work. We did remove some work, which you live and learn is our first one, was the tree board determined top priorities by scouring the area in the city that is within the allowable. I can't remember what it's called, but there's parts that we can't do anything with these grant funds south of the highway. But the first round we did, it was, we were going to people and saying, this is really a dangerous tree. We need to remove. This was an application process. So having people that are very willing to participate is going to make this a little more streamlined. And
Do you guys collect multiple bids from contractors, or is it just one contract?
We are soliciting quotes from 3 to 4 different contractors. The amount that we're targeting on the tranche of removals is less than, I think this first round is 14,000. So we'll get quotes, and then we'll get a single invoice with each removal itemized on that invoice.
They bundle projects to keep it under the 25. So
Well, I think the way the grant was written, we were gonna take down so many dollars for the trees in each.
you kind of have to spread it out. And I would imagine it's because the state of Nebraska can only draw down funds. These are USDA funds, federal funds. So they have to tell the feds, we're going to draw down so much in year 1, year 2, year 3. And so then we had to provide them with that. So for us to go and get those funds from year 2, that's what Kevin was asking before the meeting started. Can we do that? Yes. We have to show that all the money's been expended. We have to have all the reimbursement reports submitted, and then we can ask for permission to draw down more. Now, keep in mind, our grant, it isn't a calendar year for the grant. It started in September of last year. So September of 2026 will be when technically year 2 starts. So we could start more removals in October, November, December.
So where I was going is if we had a tree that's gonna cost $5,000 to get removed,
Yeah,
and we had 3 or 4 that were gonna only cost like $500 or $1,000.
Yeah.
Bundle those into a project for a bid.
It wouldn't work not the way the application's written and not the way that the grant is then submitted.
for the tree removals, it's one tree per property too.
Oh, okay, all right.
So the application is one tree per property, must be owner occupied, and the tree removal is less than.
So the applicant, I mean, it's per property, the application.
It's per
Yeah,
property and it
okay.
has to be owner occupied, and the tree removal has to be less than
Got
$3,000.
it. All right. Just trying.
It's great. Yeah, I appreciate the questions. I'm a play in the gray type person, so this stuff drives me nuts. I don't deal with the bureaucracy well, but we've got, well intentioned and, Forest Service people that, you know, that know that we're doing our best as volunteers and they keep us on the straight and narrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments for Drew?
Appreciate your time and support.
Mr. Crab, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Welcome back, Counselor.
I'd say it's good to be back, but.
I know, you don't need to say that. Any report from the city attorney? Yeah, you still speak English very well. Report to city manager.
Just to let you know, when bids came in low on the airport and we've got a little extra money, there's about $1 million in the black. We're looking for ways to authorize some additional work with the money. The nuisance abatement program is underway in our designated area. And we are already receiving some questions and concerns over nuisance abatement, which we anticipated, given the area that we selected for this year. And I think that's it.
That was the intent of putting this out too on the nuisance, that these people would have an opportunity to.
Normally, we kind of keep it under the vest as to which area we're doing. This year, we've been very transparent. We've put it in the water bill newsletters. We've let people know we're coming because this is an area that we anticipated major abatement issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have budgeted 90,000 for abatement, which hopefully will be enough.
All right, thank you. Moving on to report, city council members, my report on Board of Health, we have not met recently. The Ogallala Community Hospital and Health Foundation, we met Monday. And, you know, a lot of good news. There's new growth in service and in patients coming in from the surrounding areas of communities. We have surgeons coming in from North Platte and Grant to do procedures here in Ogallala. Heard some comments on swing beds, which I don't know if we had swing beds there before or not, but that seems to be popular, have we?
Yep.
People appreciate that. The other things I picked up for the meeting, they do have one security guard hired. They work Monday through Friday during the daytime hours, and then weekends it'll be 24 hours each day on the weekends. There are still 2 positions open, but they're gonna have 3 security guards there. They're continuing their education efforts on reliability. And the only way I can describe this is if a surgical procedure is coming up, they have a team that reviews it. And if any team member has a question or pause or concern, they can stop it. So a senior doctor can't say, well, we're gonna do this, you know, I don't care what you say. So there's more input on that. And this is a banner initiative going through, not necessarily banner, but all hospitals do this. Banners working on it more with their teams in this area. They're improving their community image and branding. And let's see, I found out that Banner has supported their employees that have been economically that have been impacted by the fire. Didn't say how much or how many, but it is. Banner is supporting them. And then the biggest thing I picked up from this was they consider getting this EMS program with our ambulance their highest priority right now. That they want to, stay on top of that. They're still ready to help us fund the building and do whatever we can. And I was given this newspaper that says city to seek proposals from private EMS. This is from Aurora, Nebraska. I'm going to leave this with Jane, and she's going to scan it and email it to you. But we're not the only community that is going through this EMS problem. It's costly. It's not sustainable in current form, but we're still moving forward on it. So other than that, nothing else to report. And Councilman Laughlin is gone. Councilman Dupierre.
Chamber of Commerce. First, I have to give former Councilman Block some kudos here. The chamber meets the day after we have to give our report. So the chamber will meet tomorrow. So I have to remember everything from a month ago. And it's challenging, and I have a bad tendency of losing paper notes, and so I need to digitalize them more. Anyways, they were in the middle of the raising funds for fireworks. That was going very, very well. They were very close to meeting their goals. I've since heard they have hit their goals of to $35,000. I made a comment to them. I said, this is good. This is why we asked you guys to do it, because we're not good at raising funds, and they're doing a phenomenal job at it. Through that meeting, there was some confusion on the contract and just some clarification. So I think it's a possibility that we might see an addendum or some changes coming to the contract. It's really just for clarification. But as a heads up, that might be coming through. It's really just a clerical thing to help them keep their side of things organized, as they tend to go through directors and board changes frequently. And I think that that's probably a good idea. So we could see that in the coming weeks. Like mentioned, we have a meeting with them tomorrow. I think that's about it for the chamber. West Central Nebraska Joint Housing Authority, we did meet in April. Funding is committed for 2026, so things are looking pretty decent there. As far as the vouchers, they are still on a voucher freeze, so they cannot issue any new vouchers. They're just kind of stuck with what they've got.
Do they have that position hired yet to manage
So,
that?
That's my next thing. Kelsey has stayed on, and she kind of dropped to part-time. They've interviewed a lot of people. With all the uncertainty inside of HUD and funding at the federal level, as you can imagine, there's not a whole lot of candidates that want the job. So long story short, Kelsey has decided that she can't give it up, and so she is back full-time. Yes.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
So that was a great thing. I believe they'll start looking for another assistant here in the coming weeks. Because once the voucher freeze lifts, then they'll have to start doing all of their inspections in the home, and you really should not do it with one person. So yeah. They meet quarterly, so a couple more months before the next meeting. That'd be it.
All right, thank you. Councilman Clockman.
Went to the library board meeting, on the 6th of April. It was great. I had a really good time. I didn't think it was gonna be quite as exciting as it was. I learned a lot of stuff from Kendra and that group of people. one thing I had no clue how much that library conference room is used by the public. It's huge. The use that goes on at the library. The other thing was the number of calls she gets for questions that people call her, just, is it gonna rain today? And she goes and looks it up and gives them a weather, whatever it is. Yeah. When I was done, I gave her several kudos. She had a great report. Fantastic, group of people there. The reference desk. 5,146 people had called in for questions for her to answer and must be for the year, I take it, not for the month, correct?
That'd be for the year.
Yeah, which is huge from all across the country, the people that use that library. And very clean facility. I told them, God, you guys do well at taking care of this place. It's so kept up, so nice, and all the people that are using them. But budget and stuff that, they're within budget and everything, and that's the basic thing there. I was just blown away by what a great job they're doing. And how nice everybody in that library board, how nice everything was. So, that's basically the library. Can't wait to go back to the next one, as maybe as silly as that seems. But I really enjoyed my time there.
Literacy does make you happy.
Yes, it does. I enjoyed it, and I told Kendra that a couple of different. So. The next one was West Central.
Western Resources Group.
What? Nope.
Nope, West Central.
West Center, I'm sorry. I'm already jumped ahead to Daryl, I'm sorry.
West Central, and Kevin sent me that they were looking for a voting board member and wanted to know if I was interested in doing that. And I thought about it for a couple days. Yeah, I definitely am interested in going in and doing that. They meet on third Wednesday of the month. Zoom 5:30 or 6. It wasn't real sure on what time he meets at. But yeah, that is May 20th, their next meeting. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll have to get that on the agenda and get them approved as a voting
Do
member.
we approve them, or does the West Central?
West Central would approve him as a vote with
Yeah,
even
West Central.
I think we have to appoint him as a voting member for the,
I'm a voting member on the joint housing,
are you?
and we never did any kind of motion at council level.
Okay.
Yeah, he said they would.
it's their appointment.
Okay.
I filled out a letter of request today and I talked with them on the phone. So. Yeah. look
Good
forward
to go. All right.
Hopefully that's as fun as the library. So,
All right. Anything else?
no.
All right. Councilman Weddington.
I haven't heard anything from Keep County Beautiful. When something's coming down the pipe on them.
Yeah.
Here pretty quickly. As far as Western Resources Group, we did meet. They elected new officers, president and vice president, the treasurer and secretary didn't change. We have 2 new members on the board. They get most of their funding from grants. They've done a great job over the last 6 years of increasing that grant funding from about 150,000 to 450,000. They're working through some job descriptions for their employees, for current hires, and just for training and for future hires. They plan to do some community engagement with undertaking education on recycling within the schools and maybe getting some support from the city. We'll see how the staffing goes. They bought a new roll-off truck. One they had previously had been massive hydraulic leaks and then a cracked frame. We're gonna be trying to sell that here in the next 3 or 4 months. We're gonna get so soon. One of the things I didn't know is that they were the third largest recycler in the state. It was pretty amazing. And then they're making good headway at reducing their debt up there. With future plans of investing into the facility for the future, once that debt's paid off. Oh,
I'm a frequent flyer. I go there probably at least once every 2 weeks, if not more often, and they do a great job keeping it clean, keeping things organized. There's not stuff blowing around. We're very fortunate to have them here in the community, because if we had to go do drive to a dumpster downtown, or it's just not nearly as convenient as having a facility right there, so.
Next President, we got our bill for community cleanup, and it was less than $3,000, and I think they were. I should have printed out the numbers, but there was significant collection. I think they'd emptied 3 metal roll-offs and 11 tons of landfill trash. Yeah.
It keeps the community clean, keeps it off the streets.
Well, and I'm happy that it was less than $3,000.
Yeah.
Well, our big cleanup, we'll do a weekend cleanup in the fall. We'll be partnering with them.
All right. Well, nothing else sitting on our agenda then, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Weddington and a second by Councilman Dupierre. Adjourn. Please vote.
Must not have saved my motions on the memo.
Cut and paste.
4 yes, 1 abstain, or 1 absent.
Motion carried, we're adjourned. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.